In this video, we will explore the case of the first oldest person executed in Mississippi, USA in 2005, his final words and last meal. Welcome to Mr. Mystery Files. Please subscribe and share this video. For nearly 2 decades, John B. Nixon Sr. was on death row in Mississippi, waiting for the day his sentence would be carried out. His path there began with a brutal crime that unfolded on January 2, 1985. That day, 45-year-old Virginia Tucker became the victim of a carefully planned murder-for-hire scheme. Nixon arrived at the Tucker residence accompanied by his son, John B. Nixon Jr., and Gilbert Jimenez. The 3 men forced their way into the home where Virginia lived with her husband, Thomas Tucker. Once inside, Nixon brought out a .22 caliber pistol and confronted the couple. Holding the weapon, he said, "I've got something for you." Thomas Tucker had married Virginia only 6 months earlier, but he quickly understood what was happening. He realized the intruders had been sent by Virginia's former husband. Desperate to save both their lives, Thomas offered the men money in exchange for their freedom. Nixon rejected the offer. "That's not what I'm after," he replied. "The deal is already done." Moments later, gunfire erupted. Nixon shot Thomas, striking him twice. Despite his injuries, Thomas managed to escape. While he fled for safety, Nixon turned his attention to Virginia. Using Jimenez's gun, Nixon shot Virginia in the head as Jimenez restrained her. The attack left her dead. After carrying out the killing, Nixon and the others fled the scene. Although badly wounded, Thomas survived. His survival proved critical to the investigation because he was able to identify Nixon as one of the attackers. Authorities eventually uncovered the wider conspiracy behind the murder. Elster Joseph Ponu, the man who had hired the killers, was convicted of capital murder and sentenced to life imprisonment. Nixon's sons, Henry Leon Nixon and John B. Nixon Jr., were convicted on lesser charges connected to the plot. Gilbert Jimenez cooperated with prosecutors and testified against the others, receiving a 20-year prison sentence in return. On March 26, 1986, John B. Nixon Sr. was sentenced to death. The years that followed were spent on Mississippi's death row. Nixon pursued multiple appeals in an effort to overturn his conviction, but none succeeded. As the years passed, his execution date drew closer. 19 years after receiving his death sentence, Nixon faced his final day. The evening before his execution, prison officials asked him to choose a last meal. He requested a well-done T-bone steak, buttered asparagus, a baked potato topped with sour cream, peach pie, vanilla ice cream, and sweet tea. On December 14, 2005, at 6:25 p.m., Nixon was escorted to the execution chamber at the Mississippi State Penitentiary in Parchman, Mississippi. He became the first inmate executed in Mississippi that year, and the 7th person put to death in the state since executions resumed in 1976. Before the lethal injection was administered, Nixon was given an opportunity to make a final statement. "I'm sorry for what I did. I'm sorry for the world. I'm sorry for myself. And I'm sorry for the family," he said. He then maintained that he had not killed Virginia Tucker. "I did not kill Virginia Tucker. I know in my heart, and it pains me to admit it, that it was my son and a Spanish friend and another man from Jackson." The execution proceeded as scheduled. 10 minutes later, at 6:35 p.m., John B. Nixon Sr. was